Hey guys, the first thing you want to notice about this video is I'm running the TK2 bar, so that requires lunars because the 8, 10, 12 split. I also have corn, egg, and all the other pecans that you should normally have. Now I pop pie because I have extra and war supply is always good. So yeah, so just normal, run through. You'll notice I noticed I wasn't going to make it through. If I had put recall up on someone, I probably would have been able to slip through, but I went back around. I probably could have rezzed carrots. I actually debated on whether I should or not, but I assumed that the UA would do it. It didn't really work out that way. Alright, so for these first two waves, there's nothing really special. You just kind of, as it becomes a ball, you'll notice I start spiking. That's because it's all melee, so there shouldn't be any off damage or anything tricky.
For this quest, there are 6 waves, and there's off damage on waves 3, 4, and 6.
Alright, so here at 2 minutes 18 seconds, you'll notice the fiends all pulled in nice and stuff, but I was watching them the entire time. That's what you should be doing. You should be always watching both sides of the ball so that you can start to approximate how much off damage there will be, and so then you can start to figure out what you're going to need to do to take care of that. Because it's not good enough for you to just decide, like, kind of as it happens what you need to do. Like, you should understand as, the stuff is being balled, what you're going to need to do to kill it. Yeah, so same thing here on this last wave. I noticed that there's... And then, I don't know, I stand here for a couple seconds. I think I'm texting, honestly. I don't know. That's probably what it is. I'm texting. Don't do that. You should be attentive to the run and paying attention. I was not. Alright, so here you'll notice Uber Ninja, he comes at it on an angle, and as a result, he is able to, get the Lord to break and pull everything else with minimal hunger breakage. Notice he only broke 1, which made it really easy for us to kill the Lord and, get out with no problems. Just like EM-lighting as we go. The EOE there, you'll see as I pass it, or on my mini-map, is just a safety mechanism that you can do to help draw aggro as you're leaving. It's not necessary, but it's one of those things that's nice to have. Also, as TK, you can use recall and do the same thing that the main tank would do. Just, draw aggro and then recall out once everyone is safe. killing that shit. Okay. Dead. Now see, you'll notice that the golem gets knocked as it comes in. That's what you want to do. Not necessarily as TK, but that is something that you want to do.
For 6-0, it's generally the collar that knocks the golem because the IAU isn't there yet.
Alright, so again, I'm watching how stuff is moving and, you know, where stuff is in relation to other things. Not necessarily like physically, but, you know, when I hit control and everything pops up, I'm deciding what I need to do, how I need to go about killing it. Unfortunately, everything didn't pull in nice on this run because Uber Ninja died, but that's okay. We can still, you know, we should adapt and do as much damage as possible. So this spike was actually kind of slow. Yeah, this spike was actually kind of slow because not everything pulled in nice, and so we weren't able to take it out nice and pretty, but job done. Alright, so at this point, we are going to do Ellie Lord. Now, as you probably just saw, I have recall on my emo. And that's because now we push here and kill the stuff in front, so I can't really run past. But if the bean group, which you can probably see on the edge of my mini-map there, or compass rather, if that's patrolling up, then you can't run through, but otherwise, after you throw like 1 or 2 skills on Spike, you can definitely just kind of run past and go get started on your job. There should be 3 spikers there to, you know, kind of clean up and take care of shit. Alright, so what am I doing here to kill Ellie Lord? You'll notice I'm clicking on the spot. You'll notice I stand where the stuff in the wall changes from one pattern to the other, and then I simply press spacebar to attack and it will slide me right into the spot.
For damage, just PI it and spike away. And jump out.
I probably should, once the Ellie Lord gets in range for me to swap to my 40-40 so I can keep auto attacking it, I probably should have swapped into my 40-40 instead of staying in my bow, but little mistakes here and there. Alright, so now we're setting up for tendrils. You know, I make sure I have recall, I check my bonds, make sure I have the prop on that I need. You'll notice I check right where my MT has his Shadow of Haste, so that I can make sure that he and I are together. And then you'll notice I'm in shield set, I PI one, and then the other, I cast E-Surge, and then, you know, I use a natural and finish him as needed. I kill the back one first. That's what's important. You'll notice, because then that way, it allows my main tank to have a clear path to run. Alright, so now we're spiking. Again, I'm checking where stuff is. I'm just trying to output as much damage on the off damage as I can. Notice how, basically everything that's alive after the spike is the stuff that didn't pull in 100%. So the Fiend and the one Golem, that's how it should be. If that had all pulled in nice and pretty, everything would have died on that spike. Now you can say, oh, well, but you died. Well, yeah, sure, but I mean, I have teammates that have scrolls and UA and stuff like that. Like, what matters is that you complete the spike in a timely manner. This is a spike that you may not see in the trench. It's because George, I think he went back way to Gloom. Honestly, I'm not sure. But he left us the back group, I think.
It's the back group, I guess, but it's not a trench pop, so there's not a front group, respectively. Because you can notice there are spirit tormentors in the group, which don't pop.
Recall is good here. It's good to let people hoss off you, since you can put recall on someone and then just jump out. It's good. You always want to stand in that bush because it provides a good angle. Now, when you're in Gloom, you want to make sure that you hustle and get the Earth Tormentors. It'd be, most ideal if the emo could grab them, but if they can't, they can't, such is life. What matters is that you grab them. Alright, so here we have people who aren't really running through, so we end up catching souls, which is fine. We just, we have to kill them quickly. It wastes a little bit of time since we weren't 100% coordinated on killing them at first. But, you gotta make do with what you're given. People running through there definitely dicked us. Like, I would expect better people to know not to run through like they did just now. Yeah, sure, Nate did technically catch the Earth group like he should, but he also caught the 4 group, which was unnecessary.
Some of what happens there is some of the spikers are late coming over to spike the first group of Earths.
Alright, so again, here we're watching, checking for off damage, looking at what it is, seeing how close it is in relation to other things. George does a good job of stacking it all nice and pretty for me and basically leaving, no off damage. Alright, so the recall trick. So here I'm putting recall on the collar, and I go to the mouth of the cave and I wait for the symbol above my head, and then I recall out because I know that I had recall placed on me by the TT. After which, we run to Deathbringer so that we can meet up for Deathbringer and Darkness. Alright, Darkness Spike. TK is unique when it comes to Darkness Spike. You have the most available skills to use as far as even damage is concerned. Got Mistrust, E-Surge, Wandering Eye. Like, you basically have, everything but Cry of Pain. So what you want to do is, you want to pick a target that's in the middle and start spiking. Now, you'll notice I tab through a little bit and I check just to make sure that everything is dying properly and evenly. And again, you'll notice on this spike that I'm moving around and I'm not always with my teammates. And that's because I'm TK. It's my job to kill off damage. It doesn't matter, where I am in relation to my team. I don't have to be with them. What matters is that I kill the off damage. Within reason, anyway. Alright, so now we're going to Foundry. If I was smart, I would have put a recall on Nate or George. Alright, so in Foundry, you want to take both the first and second quests. You'll notice I take the first one here. Again, spiking, having fun. Alright, so second room. You want to watch stuff as it's spreading out. If you see that Driders are away from the ball, like that one that's just in front of me there, you want to make sure that you're getting PI on it so that it'll die on time. Yeah, so second wave, again, we're just, watching how stuff is moving, making sure that we kill it all appropriately. And leaving that last one alive was kind of just an oversight. Nobody really called it, so... So, you know, we spike, stuff dies, yeah. Boom, dead. Now, I don't know, if I kept running, I might have been fine, I might have been KD'd. So I put recall to be safe, ended up drawing the Dementia Titan. Again, you should be, you know, watching the ball as it's being created so you can know what's going to be off damage. Because that's, you know, that's the big thing for TK. You know, killing Tendrils and killing Ellie Lord. Like, you know, those are kind of one-offs. They're important, but like off damage is something that you do throughout the run, and so you know, you should be pretty damn good at it. Alright, so if I was smart here, I would have put PI on the Big Daddy before I started moving so that we could kill him appropriately. But I didn't, so he was left with a little bit of extra health there. Now, you want to take the second quest, because you're going to be taking second snake. Well, okay, it depends on tactics. FPGM has TK take first snake, so that IU can run straight to Black Beast. Gems and 3-3 tactics dictate that IU takes first snake, or in the case of 3-3, Trench Tank takes first snake. And so therefore TK, as Missy just said, will take second snake. Now, you want to body block for the snake so that you can make sure that they run past and are free. We had probably one of the cleanest takes for this video that I think I've ever seen. Alright, now here, for Black Beast Spike, you want to prioritize the Black Beast. That's not to say that you only hit the Black Beast, but the Black Beast does have a little bit more health than the surrounding Titans, so you do want to make sure that you, you know, get enough damage so that it dies appropriately. Because you don't want to have to heal it more than once. Alright, now we're doing Fury. Like most Furies, you are still responsible as TK for off damage. So that means that, you know, you have to find all the stuff in the little corners. Even though it should be nice and bald, there's still going to be stuff that's on the edges, and that's your job. The biggest thing I hope you guys take away from this video is that, you know, TK doing off damage, it's not a set in stone process or protocol, but something that, you know, is open for interpretation and, you know, should be adaptable. You know, I hope you take away that off damage is, it's fluid. It's, you know, it's not set in stone. It's not procedural. It's something that you kind of have to just, you know, you have to do it, and how you do it can change from run to run. So, you know, the biggest thing is that you pay attention. Alright, the wall. The big thing about the wall is ensuring that everything dies in a timely manner. Now, you want to pace yourself a little bit so that you can make sure that your energy doesn't disappear, because doing the wall is just as much about doing it fast as it is about ensuring that you have energy for the spike afterward. Now, TK is different from other spikers because, well, you have PI. And so that means that you can cover the UA on the Sues, you can hit the Manx, like, you can kill everything, and to a degree you should. Alright, so here we are, again, we're killing off damage. Now, Nate didn't leave me a whole lot, so, you know, it was pretty easy. So here, for the right side of city, again, we're watching how things are moving. The main tank should be balling things roughly in front of the Mesmers, and there should be virtually no off damage. Alright, this next spike, though, is a bit bigger. You'll notice George had a lot of time, so there's basically no off damage for me to hit, but there's a little bit on the edges there, and you'll notice I swap targets to ensure that I get it. Now, if we had EOE on this spike, then everything would have died nice and clean. That said, I think we did a pretty good job. You'll notice I let Unreal, I made sure he was able to hoss through the wall before I recalled out. That's good courtesy as TK to make sure that you allow your teammates who don't have recall to jump through before you go. Again, we're watching off damage, and we're spiking. Alright, now that Jadoff's spike is done, we want to talk about Jadoff himself. You, as TK, want to call your PI so that you don't get it confused with other people's. You also want to make sure that you do not use Wandering Eye on Jadoff, and you do that for the same reason you don't use Yimled. It's because it prevents PI from triggering, and you want PI to trigger. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can feel free to PM me or look at the guide found on TS, as well as the YouTube channel also found on TS.